Okay, so I'm sitting here having a moment, like the moment. It's New Year's Day, 2025, and I just literally was sitting here and I broke down and I just started praying and I just started praising God, myself, allowing myself to just be so thankful to be here. And I really just went into a space where I was able to channel my ancestors and channel God through me and channel in alignment. And I began to speak in light language. And light language is something that I've always known, and a lot of people know it or know a form of it as speaking in tongues. And for me personally, growing up, I knew that my great grandmother had a church, and it was a holiness church. And in this church, they speak in tongues. And I never really knew if I would ever speak in tongues. When I speak in tongues, it sounds a little different from how they speak. But it's because we all have our own personal, specific light language in which we can connect to our energetic guides, our energetic spiritual beings, our ancestors that come before us, that have come back again and again, and that we want to elevate, we want to innovate, venerate, and the ones that we want to keep at our feet, to light the fire, to keep moving. And I have been praying that I would one day find the words to share this experience, because before now, I have not been able to put into words. This might sound simple, but put into words this feeling, this experience that I have. And it's like when I channel and when I'm like chanting, it's just transformational. Like, I feel myself shifting the energy, and I don't know what I'm doing or why, but it's like the way that the words come out, what I hear in my mind and what's coming out. And sometimes I'm saying words, but they're so subtle. And I have been learning about subliminals a lot, like subliminal messages in music and movies and just things that we consume. And it's like the words coming out are subliminal, so only can be heard on a certain frequency. And then there's another layer where what's coming out might be like sound like clicks or sounds or swishes of air. And I'm like, dang, when you look back in the study of language, like one day my friend was just telling me something that she kind of discovered. And she was like, yeah, the way they used to talk, it wasn't like how it is now. It was like clicks and noises, and we know some of those ancient languages that you hear and it sounds like animalistic sounds, and things like that. So I'm like, okay, this is definitely something. It's not just gibberish, or maybe to some people it is, but to me, this is my thing. But yeah. And it's like, okay, it just all makes sense. It all comes together. And I just wanted to share that moment that I experienced. And one day, or maybe even today, I can share some of my light language downloads, prayers, blessings with you, and hope that you receive it and maybe get something out of it. And I've seen, it's funny because it just came to me, and it came to me the first time through writing, not even through speaking at first. Like, this is something that's developing and developed and had to go through many transitions to even be able to be translated by me right now in English in this message. And it's funny because we think about how English is not really known as like a romantic language or like a love language. So, and I've tried to learn like Spanish, and I don't know. It never really I never got fluent in it. And I don't know. I feel like this spiritual language just comes to me naturally. I don't have to try to learn it. It's not something that you learn or study because, like I said, everybody has their own personal light language. But so the first time it came to me, I was doing a exercise with a spiritualist who goes by Tatiana Tarot. She's on YouTube, Instagram, all that. Love her. Be keeping up with her readings. But I was doing an exercise with her, and it was a writing exercise. And she was just saying, like, write out what flows, what comes to you. Just write it down. Just write everything down. And I was getting frustrated because I could not think of actual words to write down. I'm like, what? This isn't working. Like, I can't believe this. Like, Tatiana Tarot, like, she's the real deal. So I'm like, oh my God, like, am I not tapped in? Like, I started doubting myself. And then in an instant, like, Spirit was like, can you write down like what I'm saying? Like, don't you hear me talking to you? Like, what are you doing? Like, write this shit down. And I literally just started making marks on the paper. And it didn't look like anything I could translate into, like I said, English, but it just was, you could tell it was a message. And we all seen those movies where the person, like, they're trying to decode some scripts, some like magical ancient thing, and this is what that felt like. Like, maybe one day this could be decoded into actual things that we can make sense of on a physical realm. So that was like my first introduction that I can remember right now at this present moment for light language. And then there was a time this summer where I was at a family reunion, and my family, they always pray, because like I said, my great-grandmother had a church, and, they would always pray, and they were praying, and then it was probably my aunt praying. I can't remember who exactly was praying, but they was praying, and then they started speaking in tongues, and I was like, yes, like, I was so happy, like, oh my God, I've been needing to hear this message. And like, you don't know, like, I couldn't download, but I knew that my spirit, my frequency, just being there and witnessing it and hearing the message, I was getting the downloads. And it was so funny because as they started speaking like that, like, one of my younger cousins, his head whipped around so fast and his face was like, what? And I was just like, yeah, he's getting the message too. He don't even know he's getting the message, the download. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm getting so excited. I'm sorry. I was trying to stay calm, but it was just magical. And I was just like, yes, like it just was confirmation that like, yes, you really like this is real. This is happening. You are connected. Like you are blessed. And it's just more and more confirmation that I know that I'm a healer, that I'm capable of healing myself within, and that I can be the one to guide people closer to get their own healing. Being a healer can be misconstrued because, like, people think they don't have to do anything, they just have to be there and witness the healer. And it's like, no, you are the one who's doing the healing. I'm just guiding you to be able to realize that within yourself and kind of like wake you up to certain things, because we all are mirrors to each other. We all are mirroring each other and showing each other things within ourselves that maybe we need to nurture more, or maybe that we need to be grateful for, or maybe that we need to just love on more. So, like, love on people around you. Like, just love on you, love on, just love. Love is the antidote. Love is the answer. And I just had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because love has been all over. As we're talking about love, my line sisters are congratulating my one line sister on her engagement, her recent engagement. So, yeah. Anyway, that's why I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, because I just got distracted and I wanted to like read their responses. But yeah, so light language, that was another experience. And then when I really started to discover my own light language, well, when I began to notice that what I had was a light language and that I could be using it for my own protection and just, as a tool, because we all have spoken our light language, like when we're kids and we're just like babbling, when we're older kids and we're just talking gibberish, which it's not gibberish, it's light language. And, we think we're just messing around and playing, but we really are communicating with the spirits. Like, kids are so connected with the angels and the other realms. And so that was all experiences with light language, and we've all had them. But an experience that I had last year with light language that really just solidified me, like light bulb going off, like hello. I was in my room and I was on social media looking at stuff I shouldn't have been looking at. And I found some news that just really surprised me, shocked me, and it triggered another level to my healing, because like I said, it was shocking. It wasn't bad. It wasn't anything I was angry about. It was just like, whoa, like confirmation that this one chapter is closing and you are moving on, and you are, you're just really moving on from this thing. And so I just felt overwhelmed by the emotion. Excuse me. I felt overwhelmed by the emotion that I felt, and I started to cry, and I started to question, and I started to just try to pray, try to breathe, because I didn't want to freak out. I didn't want to crash out. So I was crying and I was praying, and then I just started speaking. And I couldn't stop it. I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't turn it down. And I was like, in my mind, because I still can think different mind, because I don't have to think about these words that are coming out. It's like breathing, it just comes out. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, my neighbors are gonna think I'm crazy, because my windows was open and people was out walking their dogs. So I'm like, oh my God, people don't think I'm in here tripping or something. But hopefully they understand, or they just mind their business. And I was just speaking and I was crying out and I was praying. I was just trying to release that, because I was just like so hurt by it, because it was crazy, because it wasn't something that I was not expecting. It's like when someone passes away after being sick for a long time. It's like you knew that the time was limited, and you knew that it would come a time where you guys would have to part ways in the physical. But when that actually happens, it's a new level of feeling. And it's just like you couldn't prepare for this level. So as prepared as you think you are, and you think you said, your last and you're good on it, it's like there will be things that can like rip that scar off and put you back in a place where you're like grieving again, because healing is not linear and we move through cycles in life. And so I was in that cycle of grief, but that's when I discovered that like I can use this. This is powerful. This is something that nobody can take away from me, that nobody can truly decode. Your spirit can definitely take the downloads and the frequencies, but there's nothing that you can do to disrupt this frequency. And I just prayed that as I communicated with spirit in a way that couldn't be tampered with, that couldn't be heard, that couldn't be shared, like, because when I'm channeling that divine, like, there's nothing that can cut through that thread, that can break that light beam. And that's the same with you. Like when you're speaking your own light language to your spirit, to your God, whatever you believe in, whenever you're doing that, that's your direct line. And I realized that I have to get into a certain zone, a certain meditative space to be able to speak. Like I can channel it. Like I can say like, oh, spirit, give me a message. I'm going to like speak light language for the collective right now. And I can chant something off for you real quick. But it's not anything that like, you know how people say like, don't tell your plans because, people will try to like hate on you or da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, no, this is something nobody can turn it off. This is your light language. Get it? This is your light. Nobody can turn that off. Nobody can dim your light. So, yeah, I don't know. I just felt called to channel a message and to just, I was about to say speak. I'm afraid to speak, but I'm not afraid, but I'm shy to speak my light language on here. Like, first time, girl, like, just jump right on into it, right? But why not? Why not go into life? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just wait. I'll see if this gets any traction, if anybody sees this. And if y'all want to hear me speak some light language, y'all got to let me know. Y'all got to subscribe. Y'all got to like. Y'all got to comment. Then I might share a little something with y'all. Y'all are getting the divine message because you're getting it in English. But like if you really want to like get deep into some spiritual stuff, like I'm so down for that. So, but what I can do for y'all is pull a card real quick. That I can do. That I can do. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check out my video on from the winter solstice. I did a reading, and that was my very first ever YouTube video that got posted. So please check it out. I would be so excited and so happy to see y'all check out a reading of mine. But this is also about to be a reading. So, Great Spirit, Divine Mother, let's get a card for... what are we going to pull a card for? I just want a card for the energy of the collective. Like, it's New Year's. It's, it's New Year's. We're still in new moon energy too, and it's a black moon, and there's like all these planets in retrograde. There's all these planets that are going to be moving around, changing, shifting over the year 2025. We're in a 9-year, and a lot of those transitions that are coming back around originate, like, the last time that we were in them was in like war times and war periods. And it's just crazy how things, like, people are like, war is so bad and this, and you know, like, it's hard, like, but there's so many things that just come about during those times, and we find our resilience and our strength. And so let's pull a card. Spirit. And we get the Five of Wands. Oh my God. Like, we're finding our strength this year. We're finding the will to fight this year. The things that we have felt like we could not go up against, that we could not, the ways that we felt like we could not show up before, like, we are going to show up and show out this year. Okay? Like, starting with just sharing messages, sharing art, creating just, like, off the charts, just creating. We got the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Like, the garden is flourishing. It's giving thriving this year. It's giving, it's giving, we're going into an abundant season, an abundant time, a time of abundance. There will be resources. There will be, like, instead of more of like a fight, this will be more like a sacred dance with your higher self. A sacred dance with your higher self. And, like, in this card that I'm looking at, these ladies are moving and grooving, and it looks like they're kind of synchronized, and they're just like ninja like moving. Like, I don't know, like, there's gonna be movement this year. There's gonna be change this year. There's gonna be getting unstuck this year. Flow. That's what I'm getting. Flow, movement. But we are, with the wands, there's fire energy. There's warmth. There is limberness. I don't know if that's a word, but So, yes, Nine of Pentacles, like, abundance this year. Abundance, prosperity. Ooh, yes. Did you hear that? That was like a rattle of the wind. Like, it's just vibratory movement. Energy is just shifting, and we are wrapping it up on some shit that was keeping us stuck. A lot of things have been released. A lot of karmic things have been resolved. As we walked out of 2024, that was a very karmic year, with it being an 8-year. But this year, we are learning how to protect ourselves, protect our bounty, our abundance, our gardens are going to be protected by the divine, so you can feel safe to share, you can feel safe to create, you can feel safe to be yourself in 2025, because you are abundant. This is sacred. And yeah, that is my little mini reading. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to post this. So I hope you guys see it. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys subscribe and comment and share, and just tune in with yourself. Trust in yourself and love on yourself, and just praise the God within yourself, because you are an artist. Everyone has come here for a purpose and a reason and the thing that they need to create and leave their mark on the world. And so I hope that in 2025 you find clarity and come closer to finding what that is, if you haven't already. And if you have, that you continue to walk in your purpose and continue to shine your light and be abundant and be loving and kind and compassionate, and just be healthy, and be supported and have family, whatever family looks like for you. And may you witness miracles in 2025. I love you.